Marianne and Miss Priss, Marianne and the Little Princess. Why does Marianne get saddled with all the stuck-up kids that everyone else hates?
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
This book was written by Peter Larangis. A British family called the Kents moves into town. They want a regular companion for 8-year-old Victoria Elizabeth. Marianne is the narrator, so of course, she gets the job. The weird thing is that Victoria has a permanent nanny named Ursula Rutherford. Do they really need to pay a second person to watch their kid? It's not like they're paying Marianne to watch Victoria on the nanny's day off. She is there every time Marianne babysits. The nanny explains Victoria gets the royal treatment because she's a princess. A British princess in Connecticut? That's almost as far-fetched as a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court. In the subplot, Dad leaves on a business trip. Sharon and Marianne struggle without him. At breakfast, Sharon burns the toast and sets off the fire alarm. And she sets it off again when she burns the eggs, because she forgot she was cooking and went into the basement to look for clothes. I know Sharon is scatterbrained, but this is a little extreme. I'm amazed she hasn't burned the house down by now. Claudia is the club's resident expert on England. Wait, really? Claudia knows a lot about England? I would have thought Mallory for sure. Claudia probably can't even spell England. Anyway, Claudia is the club's resident expert on England, so she helps Marianne prepare to meet the Kents. That just makes Marianne more nervous about meeting them. The Kents are stuffy and bossy. Sir Charles and Lady Kent work for the United Nations, so they're never at home. The nanny complains constantly because she hates how Americans are rude and improper. Victoria is snobby and expects Marianne to obey her every command. Really, the only nice person in this household is their chauffeur, a friendly American named George McArdle. It turns out Victoria's not a princess. She is 29th in line to the throne. In real life, the high 20s and low 30s of the line of succession are occupied by the Queen's grandfather's grandchildren's grandchildren. So that's 5 or 6 generations removed. As the book notes, a lot of people have to die before Victoria has any chance of becoming queen. Christy babysits kids who make a pilgrim village out of cardboard. Victoria is confused because she doesn't know about pilgrims or Thanksgiving. Clearly, she didn't read Claudia's Thanksgiving book. The kids brag they're smarter than a princess. They pester Victoria with questions to the point where Christy feels secondhand embarrassment for their rudeness. Victoria develops a fondness for Americans because our country has lots of TV channels and junk food. She is super excited to visit a shopping mall for the very first time. Marianne says it's one of the largest malls in the country, which is a flat-out lie. The nanny is sarcastic the entire time, but Victoria is so happy, she decides to talk like Americans.
Gross. No, that means bad. I mean, cool. I have them mixed up.
At a club meeting, the girls complain Victoria is closed off and avoids other kids. That doesn't make sense. We just learned she wants to be American. Whatever. Marianne invites Victoria to a football game so she can meet real American kids. Sharon takes Marianne shopping to the mall. Yeah, of course we get a second shopping chapter in this book. The shopping trip is weird, as Sharon keeps buying things for blonde vegetarians. Marianne slowly realizes Sharon is using her as a replacement for Dawn. Dawn calls with surprise news. She's coming to town for Thanksgiving. She complains eating turkey is barbaric. If you eat turkey, you're a murderer. As the book points out, Dawn is not a vegetarian. She eats red meat. She's a total hypocrite for yelling at Marianne for eating dead animals when she does the exact same thing. At the football game, Victoria gets confused because public school and football have different meanings in England. The kids seem to like Victoria until she says she needs someone to come to New York with her. The kids misunderstand what she's saying And so they're all disappointed when Victoria picks Christy as a chaperone. I would be bummed out too if Christy stole a free vacation from me. At the next BSC meeting, they tell Christy about the job in New York. I don't know why. Christy was there when Victoria invited her. She said, "Christy, you come." Was Christy not paying attention to her, or what? In the funniest scene in the book, Alan Gray sneaks into the limo. Christy threatens to kiss him if he doesn't leave. Alan runs away screaming, even though I'm pretty sure he's dreamed of kissing Christy for years. They go to New York City. This must be the 10th Babysitters Club book where the girls spend multiple chapters gushing over how great New York is while they visit the same 3 tourist spots. Personally, I'm sick and tired of seeing the babysitters go to the park, the museum, and stores. To be fair, they do visit a brand new place in this book, the hotel from Home Alone 2. Marianne is way too excited to see people in limos there, considering that she's used the Kent's limo for most of the book. The nanny complains the whole time. She's such a stick in the mud. Stacy and the others sneak off so they don't have to deal with her. What irresponsible babysitters! They have fun by themselves and eventually reunite with the nanny at the United Nations. Victoria's parents talk to her for 5 minutes, then leave. Victoria is crushed that they're not spending more time with her. At home, Sharon confesses she hasn't been the best stepmother lately because she misses Dawn a lot. This is a mirrored storyline. Sharon ignores Marianne because she's afraid of losing another child, just like how Victoria doesn't make friends because her parents are never around. She's scared her friends will leave her, just like her parents do. While this is a nice explanation, it doesn't quite fit the story. Victoria didn't make friends because she's incredibly stuffy and insulted everyone by accident. That was her main problem, not parent issues. Marianne encourages Victoria to talk to her parents and make friends, so now all of Victoria's problems are solved forever. Thanksgiving is great until they discover Sharon messed up. She put the turkey in the oven, but she forgot to turn the oven on, so now they have nothing to eat. Sharon is kind of an idiot. The end. Post-book follow-up. This book got some angry reviews because not much happens. Marianne babysits a new kid who's kind of stuffy and likes American stuff. It's less of a continuing story and more of a series of unrelated scenes that center around Victoria. I was okay with it until the New York segment. That was a huge waste of time, which annoyed me because Stacy did the New York tourist run 3 books ago. If they had gone to new places like Times Square or the World Trade Center, that would have been more tolerable, but nope. They go to the museum, the park, and the stores. It's always the museum, the park, and the stores. From a plot standpoint, they should have been exploring the United Nations where the Kents work. It's never explained why the Kents are living 3 hours away from their work. Does the UN always force diplomats to have huge commutes? The Sharon stuff was okay. Anne and Camp BSC had a similar story about Sharon being alone with Anne. In that book, Sharon constantly wanted to break Richard's rules and have girl night parties. That feels more in character than the Sharon we got in this book, who mopes a lot. Overall, I like the book okay. Victoria is an interesting new character. She worked well with her nanny and chauffeur. Yeah, the plot could be improved, but I walked away from this book satisfied. I give Babysitters Club number 102, Marianne and the Little Princess, a 7 out of 10.